We're going now.
We're live right now.
Yep, take it away.
We're here, baby. We're on. We're back live. The handsome Brian, not looking at his TV, not looking at his other computer. Feeling pretty good about the world. Don't cancel me, winners and losers, because I was singing a song. So Hot Tits 420 in the chat. You're back. Thrive Mending. It's good to see you all. We're gonna get back to doing this show that we were just doing. Don't remember where we were, but hey, you know, I do got to tell you, my daughter really does not like working, or didn't like working. I told you about this Wednesday, Brett. We didn't hit it on the air, but like she complained so much about working in her first 3 days. She's like, I don't know if I can fucking do this. You know what I mean? This is just the worst thing that's ever happened to me. They make me work. You know what I mean? And guys,
they bought your time.
Yeah, they bought your time. They gave her a key this morning. Now she loves it. Now it's like her favorite place to be.
Oh, God.
Because the adults are trusting her with the key. You know what I mean? Which is like, I think, a weird thing to do to a 17-year-old anyway. Like, I never heard of a 17-year-old having the key. You know?
Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea at all.
No.
Doesn't seem
Gwen,
like...
I'll say Gwen's probably fine to trust.
Sure. I mean, I guess they knew, but they don't really. The thing about it is that what about some other kid that's like, you got the key, let's go sneak and take a look in there, you know? Like, that's exactly how that shit starts. You give it to one good kid that doesn't want to look uncool, and you can be in a lot of trouble.
I did that so many times, Brett. I caused so much trouble with people that weren't supposed to be fucking around, you know? And I'm just like, yeah, man, it's not like anybody will fucking know. I mean, I got in a lot of trouble growing up like that, you know? Where like people can talk me into anything because I was very stupid, one, and two, I just wanted to be liked by people. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny that they gave her the key. He's under judge. I'm kind of judging this guy now, to tell you the truth.
You know what? I had a register. You know, they gave me a key at the toy store when I was like 16. How old was I? 16 or 7? I was 17. They gave me a key to the register to do returns and stuff, and I immediately started stealing so much stuff. Like, I just started doing fake every time I went to work, I would do a fake return.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's what I figured. Like, if they had given you the front door key, you would have gone in there and played with toys or stole toys too. You know,
I would have filtered some coffee. I would have just got like 5 or 6 bags at a time and then just tried to sell them to my friends' parents or put them on Facebook Marketplace. There's no way that I wouldn't take advantage of that fucking key. It's me. I've never been. I mean, I think I've stolen from every fucking job I've ever had.
17 years old, man. You just don't ever give a 17-year-old. I mean, I like I said, I trust Gwen. I don't think she's going to do shit. You know what I mean? Like, she is too nervous about everything in the whole world that she would never do anything wrong. But what if they gave it to any other 17-year-old? Somebody be having sex in there.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff could be going on in there. I just question your judgment if you trust a 17-year-old that you've known for 5 or 6 days.
Yeah. I had a pretty funny moment yesterday. I took Charlotte to one of those it's like the trampoline parks.
Yeah.
And there was this really funny moment where like she was playing on this attraction that like only 4 kids are supposed to play on, and then this like group of bad kids just took it over and started fucking bouncing off the wall, and she was just like frozen in fear, had no idea what was going on, you know, and was just like, you're not allowed to do that. Like she was just astonished to see that they didn't give a fuck. And I'm like, well, kiddo, here's the thing. You can either be the person that doesn't give a fuck and does what they want and doesn't ask for permission or give forgiveness, or you can be the person on the sideline that knows better. I mean, that's the choices here. Like, you're a pain. You're supposed to be a pain in the ass. You're welcome to fucking get away with as much as you can. But you're you're breaking the cycle. You're a good kid. I'm raised a good kid, but you came from a bad seed.
I was listening to YKS last week. Jesse was talking about how he went to David and Buster's, and there was a goddamn bad kid running around just taking people's tickets as they came out of the machine. And like I've been, Jesse's like, I don't even know what you do in that situation. I've been in the same fucking boat, dude, where like even I can even give you this. Like one time I was hooking up somebody's cable, and you gotta fucking bend down behind the TV, and you're wearing a tool belt, right? And I'm back there bending down. This goddamn kid keeps walking up and taking my tools and running away with them. And his parents are sitting there watching him do it and not doing anything about it. And I'm at work. Well, I mean, I would even go out to the listeners and be like, what would you even do in that? So you can't do it. There's nothing you can do. You can't even yell at the kid.
Yeah, there's it's very dicey situation because that's how. So I felt at the same thing about this trampoline park is that there was this like 19-year-old kid just staring there like dead-eyed watching this all happen, because like who wants to deal with those bad kids' parents?
No,
who wants to deal with that kid's parents? If you say, hey, you're not supposed to do that, and all of a sudden some guy says, don't talk to my kid like that, you know?
Yep. Yeah, that's the fucking problem, man, is that like those parents, here's what I've always surmised in my head is those are the types of parents that probably, and I don't know for sure, hit their kids when they do something wrong. You know what I mean? Like
you're right.
And you can't do that. And
nothing
at all is as bad as getting hit.
Right.
So they're just the kid is like on vacation with you. You know what I mean? They're like, what is this guy yelling at me? Okay, whatever, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty wild.
Yeah, it's crazy. You never know what to do. This stuff happens in public, and I can handle other people in public, I guess, other adults, but other people's kids are actually terrorists to me.
I did. Yeah, I had a kid one time try to attack me, and I actually grabbed him and like held it. Like basically he came swinging this huge fucking stick at me real hard. And as soon as he reared his arm back, I just reached straight down and I grabbed his wrist and I kind of spun him in a circle until the stick fell out. And then I grabbed him by the small of the back and I said, all right, you're done at our house. You got to go back home now. And I just pushed him out the door. I pushed him out the door and closed it.
Yeah.
Like I got to remove you. I just tell your parents that you had to be removed.
You swung a stick at me.
Yeah. You tried to fucking hit me. There was a kid that was picking on one of our friends. Like he was just going up and like trying to punch him in the balls. Yeah. And there's, I mean, yeah, it's very weird. Because the vaccine for kid Charlotte's age just happened in the fall. We haven't been doing very much stuff like this at all. And now being around other parents and other kids, it's just like, oh my God, Jesus, I'm so thankful for my kid. Like she is such a fucking angel and like, cool, not a fucking dork or anything, but like doesn't just destroy shit every chance they can.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the way I always thought about it, was like, I'm not really totally sure how I did what I did with my daughter. Like, I don't necessarily really know like what it was that made her the way she is, but like, whatever it was, I wish I could bottle it and hand it to every other parent.
Well, I mean, it's a safe, supportive environment. It's not freaking out about stuff. And yeah, I mean, your kid doesn't spend a lot of time in her room worried that her parents are mad at her or grounded or like being treated like shit. So like she wants to hang out with you, Well, and my kid does too.
She was ultra shy at work for the first few days. And there's another group of teenagers that go to her school that works there. There's 3 of them, and they sat at a table during break, and they chatted with each other, and she sat alone and looked at her phone. And she was, she's like, I'm kind of worried that I'm like not fitting in at work. And I'm like, I'm going to tell you something right now. As a teenager, the adults are going to like you more because they don't think you're a gossiping teenager in the corner being bad. And now she has the key, and she comes home every day and says, I made friends with another adult. And I'm like, well, that's great.
Yeah.
Have fun with the adults. I mean, they're coffee shop adults. I think that's a little different from pizza
That is
place
true.
adults, you know?
Yeah.
Coffee shop adults are a little bit more mature. And it is wild
Readers.
yeah, it is wild that she's learning how to make these drinks, you know? Like,
And they're not that hard.
oh, they're pretty hard to me. I can't make nothing. I just dump a bunch of cream. I don't really know how to make any drinks. So that's
Yeah,
kind of
I don't either, but I
tried
just
to make a
doesn't seem
heart. She tried to make a
Oh.
heart latte art and shit.
Right.
I'm like, I'm pretty impressed. I'm learning.
that's
so
fine. Yeah.
yeah. And people want to hear my take on Kirby. I like it when you eat the pop machine and you can shoot cans at people.
Okay.
And I also like it when you eat the car and you turn into a car. Very
tight.
fun game. Yeah, you can eat a traffic cone and you turn into a traffic cone and you can
Right.
jump up and get people with the spike. Like kill 'em,
Oh.
you know?
Okay.
I don't know if you're killing. I never know
Yeah.
if you're killing in any of these games, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're just reorganizing their atoms or something,
Dude, I never knew if
sending
you're
them to the
killing-
ether.
I didn't think you. I can't imagine that you're killing things in Mario, right? But you got to be killing things.
Yeah, that Goomba has a family. Sure, the Goomba has somewhere to go. Like they have a home. They're just paid to watch that little block. They probably never see any action. No one ever makes it that far to the castle gates. They're just waddling back and forth, and then now their kids don't have a dad.
And it's like, does it kill them though? When I jump
Getting
on the
flashed-
mushroom, does it kill them? Right. That's the question I have. Is it getting
Jump on
killed
the
or-
mushroom.
Yeah. If I jump on a mushroom in Mario, right?
Uh-huh.
If I jump on one of them mushrooms, I think they're called Koopa Troopers, or is that the turtles? I don't.
That's
remember.
not a yeah. Koopa Troopa is the turtle.
It's the turtles. So the mushrooms are Goombas, I think. So
Oh yeah.
if I jump on one of those mushrooms, right, and
I
it
don't
flattens.
consider them mushrooms.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
they are.
I always,
They are a mushroom species. You're right.
yeah, I always consider. So if I
So
jump
they're
on
the
that,
bad
is it-
mushrooms. The other ones are good mushrooms. This is the first time I've realized. I've been playing Mario for 33 years. This is the first time I realized the Goombas are just brown mushrooms.
yeah,
They're like
yeah.
baby portobello mushrooms.
They are, but are you killing them when you jump on them? Is the question. And
Flattened kills everything else I know.
yeah. Yeah, I know, but like if you die and you come back, it's alive. So I always assumed you were like kind of inconveniencing them. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, Mario came by and he jumped on me, but I'll be better tomorrow, you know?
Okay, it's cartoon physics. Like they can go flat and then just come back.
Yeah, because it says
Okay.
Throne of Human Skulls in the chat did say all Goombas are pedophile Nazis with no family, so it's okay.
Yeah, that's
And,
true. They serve but they serve Bowser.
Yeah, because there is also I've thought about this before, right? Are you killing people in Mario Kart, right? Because if a car does what a car does in Mario Kart when you hit them with a fucking red turtle shell, that's dead. You're gonna die. That is like
No.
a death move, you know?
I don't think so. I think that blinking out, going invisible is dying in cartoons. So the only way if you're not drawn anymore, you're dead.
Okay.
So you jump on a Goomba, it goes invisible, it's dead.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you're, because it is weird, right? That like the first, I don't know, long time of video games were all just killing things. Like all you did in video games for such a long time was kill stuff.
I feel like that's all people do with them now.
Right, but there are games now where you can do, boring stuff like farm or like Civilization or like The Sims or like not all. There are games where you don't have to kill anything. And people get into that shit, Like I see people online all the time that are just playing games where you don't kill nothing. And I'm like, I don't even know like what other options. Oh, that game where you cook. You know what I'm talking about? Overcooked.
Cooking Mama, or
Overcooked.
yeah.
And also, what's it called? Fruit Ninja. You ain't killing nothing there. So, yeah, no killing. Stardew Valley. Yeah, that's a non-killing game. So, yeah, no killing.
Nice. Well, I went to a fucking awesome show on Thursday at Dirty Dungarees. It's near Bossy Girl. I mean, this is where I used to hang out with in my 20s. It's still like the best fucking block in Columbus with Space Bar, Bossy Girls, the Old North Arcade, Mikey's, or not Mikey's, the other pizza place, and the other pizza place, Hound Dogs, which sucks. It's good. I mean, it's owned by shitty people, but it's a great place that's open late. But there is there's a laundromat in Columbus called Dirty Dungarees, and the premise is that it's a bar and a laundromat, so you can drink while you wait for your clothes. But they also put on shows, and they've been doing a lot more now. So I found out there was a hardcore show happening there, and from this band called Tomb Sentinel, and they have like their number one song on Spotify is called Cop Compost.
Oh.
Yeah. And so we go there, and it was the fucking craziest show. It was so fucking wild. I went to a goth show there that was pretty boring. It was a bunch of people staring at their shoes and kind of rocking back and forth. But this place was so packed, and there was people doing their laundry while like hardcore and like grindcore bands were playing. There was this really cool band called Fever Strike from North Carolina, and this mom with her teenage son and elementary school age son were standing on the edge of the pit, like watching people like do fucking cartwheels and kick each other and fucking fly all over the place. And they were just standing there watching while their clothes were washing. It was the best.
It is cool to have like a place where somebody can stumble on death metal. Like
Yes.
a family can stumble upon death metal, because that doesn't happen very often out there.
No, it's hard.
I said it doesn't happen very often. Like it could ever happen.
It's hard to run into it. They don't ever go to the gas station and they're blaring it, or the grocery store.
No.
But there was a fucking dude dressed as Jesus that had like 4 foot long hair, and he was like headbanging, like swirling his hair so fucking wild. Some dude grabbed a table and started spinning around in a circle, swinging the table. It was all very wrestling kayfabe a little bit, but it was it made a crazy environment. And turns out Tomb Sentinel, the lead singer, is Devin from Sanguisuga Bog. So we had no idea. We get there, and Rachel took like 2 shots of JMO like immediately. And then she was like, I think that's the guy from Sanguisuga Bog. She was just talking to me, but screaming at my fucking face. And she said it so loud that he walked over and was like, indeed, I am who you think I am.
Oh, because that's a death metal guy way to talk.
It was sweet. It was cool. We were like, oh yeah, we knew it. And we're like, awesome. We had our fucking fanboy shirts on. So it was great. Overall, fucking amazing show. I loved it. Definitely recommend Tomb Sentinel and Fever Strike.
Swing.
Sanguisuga Bog.
Sanguisuga Bog.
They're touring with Cannibal Corpse.
Okay.
What?
That music, I just will never understand that music in my whole life.
It's so good.
I don't know. It just sounds like, well, now I'm going to say something that makes me old, so let's just take some calls. I was going to say it sounds like noise.
It's amazing. It's so fun. It's like war drums, like fight music, man. It's fucking great.
Yeah, it is a racket, though. But all metal is a racket,
Yeah.
So I got to listen to Mushroom Head this week, dude.
Nah, that sucks.
Yeah, I know. Well, I did it to make John mad, and
smart.
It
but
did
you hurt
work.
Yourself.
Exactly. That's the fucking problem when you want to try to make somebody mad, is you fucking end up hurting yourself. Because I don't want to listen to Mushroom Head. I know people might think that I'm a fan, but to be honest, man, I think our listeners are just like, they're like really. I think a lot of people that like Mushroom Head are a lot younger than I am. And they think that Mushroom Head was a bigger deal in the era of nu metal than they weren't ever anything.
No,
I didn't like them back then. I didn't care, but people just think for some reason their legend has grown. Because I remember when I first started talking about new metal on Twitter, people would be like, "Oh yeah, Mushroom Head, Slipknot," you know what I mean? And I'd be like, "Why are you naming Mushroom Head there?"
Yeah, they have a good look. It's a crazy look. But I am also I vouch for that 100%. People would leave, even though they're from Ohio. I don't know if they just, to me, they just always, it was like there was so many other bands doing it better, like Slipknot, you know.
Yeah.
That is like, I don't know.
You gotta feel a little bad for them in a way though, because people think Slipknot like invented it and Mushroom Head ripped it off, and to me that would be crazy. That would feel the worst. But
they've been around forever before them.
Yeah. All right, let's oh god. yeah, let's take some calls. Let's see what's up.
All right, let's see who's on the phone. Hey, Electrical Street Fight.
Hey.
Hello? Hey, it's Hank in Los.
Hello. What's up, Hank? Hank the Tank.
The whole world calls me Hank.
That's true. That's what we do every time.
That's right. I know. I love it. I'm
what's
the
up, Hank?
Hanky, the resident.
Oh,
what's up, guys?
Last
time I called you. Oh yeah. I've been a hanky panky my whole life. Anyway, last time I called, I teased a story about how you shouldn't get gasoline on your pee-pee, but Brian tweeted today about porno on the cable box. Although I see on the Twitch stream that Brian just got up and left, so maybe that's not the right thing to talk about.
He can hear you.
I can hear you.
Bluetooth capabilities.
Yeah, I had to blow up my nose. So
right on. So I have a story from when I was a young fellow about cable box porno. Very much in the vein, I think, of what Brian was talking about.
I'm going to tell you one thing right here. I'm going to actually explain it real quick before you get to this.
Go ahead.
Was talking on Twitter today about back when I worked for the cable company. You would get every couple months, you get a work order that says box ordering pay-per-view is basically what it would say, because they didn't want to put on what's going on. And you knew it was porno. You know what I mean? Like, and you would have to go to these people's house and like talk to the mom or maybe a dude and you would have to be like, the boxes don't just order thing. There's not like a way that happens is how, you know what I mean? Like it would be the first time ever. And they would be like, well, it did. And you have to you have to tell them like,
escalate.
Yeah. Well, you would have to tell them, is it possible that somebody in your house might have ordered it? Like your 13-year-old son. Do you think that it is possible that your 13-year-old son ordered 2 pornos every day for the whole month and made your bill $700? That's all. I'm not like trying to fucking say your kid's jacking off or whatever, but or your husband.
How many socks can stand up on their own in your kid's bedroom?
Yeah. And somebody did respond to me and say they worked in the call center at the cable company, and every once in a while it would always be the person would say like, so which box was it ordered from? And it was inevitably in the man cave or the basement every time, or the kids' room.
Right.
So,
can I tell you what? I stopped calling them man caves. I call them man cages now.
Yeah. Well, okay, that is good. So don't try to lie and tell me your box ordered porno either. Okay. Now go ahead.
No. No. I was back in those days. I would get porno off BBSs. I would dial into these local It was really, anyway. That's not relevant, or it just shows how old I am. That's insane though, that you would have to become like this like surrogate parent for these people that just you're trying to live in some denial about their own sexuality. That the poor fucking cable guy had to show up, but now they even get paid extra to explain how sex works to some people that are obviously in a kind of culturally imposed denial. So I hope you got paid extra for those. those calls.
I got paid $9.50 an hour.
I think that there's
Some other-
also something of like, if you just hold firm, if the customer is just like, I didn't agree to this, I didn't do it, it's like our word against yours, you know? It's like, I mean, we can prove you did it because you did order it and it's never happened, but like, if you insist, I don't know, I guess you just charge them and send them to collections would be the thing to do.
No, what you really do, I'll pull the curtain back a little bit. You give them half of the money off. Right.
Okay.
Like you say, we can't do this again, but if it's $700, we'll give you, we'll cut $350 off the bill.
That's a great deal on on-demand porno, ma'am. I mean, you're getting like the best price on on-demand pornography that you can get at this rate.
I mean, most of the time that ended up actually getting escalated to somebody who could get it down to zero, like to get it down to their regular bill. I think most of the time. I mean, like
there's also plenty of other companies to just switch to, like you only. Go ahead.
Yeah. I would say give them a magazine too. Say here's option B. A little cheaper.
Yeah. Well, I would have just. What I would have liked to have done is to call the kid or the husband in the room and be like, when you order these pornos, you get them for 24 hours. So you don't have to order 2 or 3 in one day, because that's really what you ran into. If it was just a couple, I think the parents would just ignore it and be like, whatever. But most of the time it was like, somebody was ordering porno 3 and 4 times every day for the whole month. And that's crazy.
I mean, it's a child brain thing. It's totally a kid brain thing to be like, I can just push order. It's only $8. It's only $8. It's only $8. It's like, it's $800 now, dude.
Yeah, it was $35 today. Like you spent $35 just today. There's 30 other days in the month, and buying a 60-minute porno, getting 3 minutes of use out of it, and then buying another one. Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I assume was going on. Like, I assume they bought the porno, they jerked off real quick, and then fucking, went out and played or whatever, and then came back later, bought another porno, and then, you know what I mean? Like, it was just like going through. Yeah. The weirdest thing is like, there's that customer, then there's the porno customer where a guy was like, I ordered these pornos and they pixelate. And I'm like, the signals look pretty good here. I can escalate this and probably have somebody look at the wiring, because he's in an apartment. He can look at the wiring in the attics and stuff like that. He can get access, and we'll see what we can find. And he was like, well, let me just show you. And the goddamn guy orders porno and then has me sit on the couch with him and watch the first like 5 minutes of it. And he was like, oh, see, it's not doing it now. And I'm like, bro, this is not for me.
It's doing something.
Not for me. So
a delirium sets in when all those horniness hormones are flowing around though too, and it becomes exciting. It becomes a caper. It becomes a secret. All that shit, it contributes to it. But eventually the man comes for you, and then some cable guy shows up explaining how sex works. So I was but Ryan, it's got to go, when they make the TV show about your life, you got to have those conversations. There's got to be multiple scenes where you're the sad cable guy trying to explain this stuff. That's just fun. It's just really funny. So I was in high school, right? Senior year, 1997. It was a blood drive day where everybody was donating blood, and me and a couple pals knew that we could skip out after that, because we could just claim we were woozy. We had to go home, and that would be fine, because who cared? So that was our plan. I was like 20 minutes behind my friends. We did the blood, donated all that delicious blood. Fine. It all went great. And I go to and we were going to meet up at my buddy's house. So I head to his place. And when I get there, it was obvious that some hijinks had occurred, because they were both in like agitated states, like you walk into, and like all of us, and everybody is sort of like worked up, and my friends there's just 2 of them. We're like 17, whatever. But they're kind of running around a little bit going like, what was he thinking? Wait a minute. What was he thinking? Like, they were still processing. And I, of course, had no idea what was happening. It's very exciting, very interesting. I remember this day pretty clearly. And they told me. So what happened was, my buddy came in, the guy who lived there, and he walked into his TV room and saw, this is like 1:30 in the afternoon, right? School hours. Everybody's supposed to be at school. He walks into his TV room, and his neighbor's son is in his TV room. I'm sure you can already tell where this is going. And he says to him, I think let's just call him Scott. He goes, "Hi, Scott," and then he like turns around and walks out because he had no idea he was just so caught off guard by seeing his kid in his neighbor in his TV room. And then he stops and he turns around and he goes, "Wait a minute!" And Scott is like panicking. Scott's freaking out. And Scott gets up and Scott just like hustles out of there. He's like, "Oh, I forgot. I think he made up some sort of excuse." And he left his backpack, which is a tragic mistake because then it's like you can't deny it at all because his backpack was inside their house. And then, of course, they go into the TV room and it's porno playing. And it turns out the neighbor kid had for a few months been using the key because you know how sometimes neighbors will have a key for their each other. You trust them and stuff.
Oh my
and
God.
They stealing going into the house next door, buying up pornos, and learning life lessons while everybody else was away and at school and they had some privacy. And it's hilarious. And so they told the parents get involved, and the kid had to go to see a psychologist or some crap. He apologized, and I'm pretty sure they paid the money back. But what happened? It had been going on for a few months, and my friend's parents had been paying. They knew, and they just assumed it was like my buddy, right? Like they just assumed it was their own kid,
God.
and that they would.
Yeah, they were like, we can never talk to him about this.
Yeah, don't want to talk about it. Exactly, dude.
Yeah,
my parents did the same thing, man.
Type.
Yeah, my parents found a porno. My parents found a Penthouse letters in between my, mattresses, and they just threw it away, which always made me kind of mad because it's like it doesn't really have that much nudity in it. It's more like reading the letters. You know what I mean? Which I'm an intellectual, sapiosexual, so.
And then you gotta get
they also threw away they also one time threw away the Victoria's Secrets catalog, which is like that comes in the mail. You're not allowed to like throw that away. I was using that.
Hey, that was addressed to all of us. That belongs to the house. That's not yours.
Yeah.
Because it has the patina of respectability. Like it's not like horribly embarrassing to see it like sitting on your doorstep. You know what I mean? Like it fits in the mail. Like it's not not as skeezy, but it certainly gets the job done for one of those kinds of when you're in that mood. The lesson seems to me that and this is an old man talking and very cliche, but like you young kids need to appreciate how easy porno is to get. Because I think us old guys, Brian and you, I mean, we're 40 something, right? 40.
We're exactly. 40s. We graduated the same year, Hank.
Yeah, it's 97, baby. But yeah, we had to work for porno. We had to really go out of our way, and there was a gross traditions of magazines not getting recycled like they probably should have been. All kinds of JCPenney catalogs and Bill.
New World Order in the chat saying Sears catalog popped me good because that is it. Just is so. The Sears catalog's mad clinic. It's like clinical. It's not like Victoria's Secret catalog. They're like sitting on chaise lounges and stuff like that, just trying to really get it. The Sears catalog is like, we got to put the bras in here because we sell them at the store. But trust me, we're going to take the heads off like a lot of times they'd like the women wouldn't have heads. Just see the like torso. And it's like, this sucks, man.
Yeah. I was into Sears. I liked a distinguished woman. I was a MILF hunter as a young kid.
Yeah.
It was always funny.
Can't resist.
Yeah, I mean, there was more likely. Those are like the bras and underwear that you would see at your friend's mom's house. Was the Sears catalog. The Victoria's Secrets, like that was fantasy to me.
Yeah. Like nobody had those.
I would remember being at the mall. Another thing that I don't know if kids these days do anymore, but I remember the Victoria's Secret store was always kind of like walking past like a huge 3D magazine. Like it was so sexy because it was all pink and lingerie. Like it's just like a demented teenager brain though, I remember when I'd walk by a Victoria's Secret, I wanted to look more. I know that's creepy. Like I wanted to like turn my head, but I would be hyper conscious of not turning my head. So I would get all rigid and be like, don't look, don't look,
Oh yeah.
don't look at the Victoria, and just looking at the windows, like the window posters. It's nothing much there. It's so it's amazing. I hadn't thought about that, how much grip that has on our brains.
Mad Rush Outwars in the chat said, I remember when I was in 4th grade, this kid in my science class would charge $5 for, quote, zoo books, which was the code for his uncle's Playboy he found in the attic. Hey, man, I went over to a kid's house one time. He's like a real sleazebag kid. He fucking broke into my house once and stole my Nintendo. And like we caught his ass, and then he did it. He stole another. He was breaking into our houses and shit like that. He's like a real scumbag, dude. But I went to his house, and I think that might be why he did this. I went into his house, and his dad had the world's largest stack of Playboys just sitting on the fireplace, like where the fireplace was, and it was just out there. Like you could just walk up and grab one and leaf through it while you're hanging out in his house. And it's just like, man, that is a lot. That's a lot for a teenager. Cause I did. As soon as I every time I was like, can we go hang out at your house, Jeremy? You wanna go play Nintendo at your house? I'm gonna look at some of these Playboys.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. I also had a friend's dad that had a mighty stack that was just available. Like it's just sitting out like it's a periodical, just like
it's crazy. It's fucking nuts to have that in your house. Like back then, it was the situation was like that kid that had the stack of Playboys on his fireplace mantle, he also like would just go get his dad's gun and we'd go shoot it and stuff. It was just
fun times.
Nuts. Yeah.
That's why people want to go back to the 90s.
Yeah. Always able to go get some pills out of the, we didn't get to pick which pills, but he would always go in and take like 5 pills, and we'd get them in our hands and be like, all right, let's fucking take these 5 pills.
Let's go farming.
Yeah.
Pills, guns, and porno. That's the dream.
Yeah, pills, guns, and porno.
And if you got
what a time.
If you got a fire going, then you don't need tissues. So solve the problem.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because like he could never steal booze because they marked the bottles and stuff. You know what I mean? Like you didn't steal the parents' fucking booze and liquor. No way. He would get caught, but he could steal everything else. We also one time we stole one of my, this is so off the beaten path, but we were like 13 or 14 and my neighbor was growing weed. And we fucking broke into his backyard and stole his plants. And then we told him it was that kid's brother, the porno kid's brother. And then he fucking called the police and said the porno kid's brother broke into my backyard and stole my tomato plants. Okay. And the police were supposed to go over to his house and get his tomato plants. Like, I don't know what the whole plan was there, because if they went to get the tomato plants, it would have been weed. Like there wouldn't have been tomato plants.
But then it's a matter of they're caught with it, so they're in possession of it. Like they can't string it back to the original guy, can they? Can you be responsible for that?
He ain't getting them back. What's the point?
You want to fuck them up though? To get the police at somebody's house? I mean, to use them as violence against somebody. That's why anybody calls the police is like on other people, is to get them to be violent.
Yeah, it was crazy.
To fuck someone's day up.
It was crazy because it was just like, if they find your tomato plants, it's going to be weed, Jimbo. That's what we told him. His name was Jimbo. It's going to be weed when they find it, dude. It's not going to like change and be tomato plants when they find it. And he's like, oh, they don't know. They look the same. He kept saying they look the same. He was a crazy dude. And then we stole it, and then we fucked it all up because we threw it in the oven thinking you had to do that to dry it out, and it just burned it all, and we didn't get to smoke any of it.
That's tragic. That sucks. That part sucks. At least somebody could have gotten something out of that. I'm just thinking about all these old porno days. My dad had a couple VHSs, and I would watch those, but I always made sure to like remember the spot where he had stopped it, so I could rewind it back to that to try to avoid getting caught. And yeah, we had to go to all kinds of crazy lengths.
That is smart.
Yeah,
though.
that's
I
crazy.
would never. I was so bad. Like I was a bad kid, right? Like I think people have heard me say enough of the bad stuff that I did back. But I was so bad at being bad. That's why I was grounded so much growing up. I got caught every time doing everything. I think it was because I'm like sort of a nonchalant kind of guy. So I just did the stuff thinking like there's no fucking way they'll catch me. And every fucking time I got caught. So
Yeah.
well
Well,
shit.
that
Hank,
explains why you had time to eat in your oven. That's something that you could probably. Yeah, I hear you.
well shit, Hank, thanks for calling in. It's good to hear from you.
Sure. I got some workers' comp talk for another call though. I got a workplace injury to share with you. I'm dying from pain all day. So I'll tell you about that another time.
All right. Well, it's good to
That's
hear
a fun
from
one.
Yeah.
you.
Have a good one.
All right, love you both. Bye.
Love you
too.
too, Hank. Yeah, it was so weird. Like people do want the 90s back, but I assume look, the access to porno thing is not a issue anymore. And like these kids could get away with so much more than we could because their parents aren't as crazy as we are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
I don't
everything's
think
filmed though.
that's a good fair enough. Fair enough. That's true, actually. And parents can just stalk you the whole time you're away from home.
Exactly. Yeah. They know where you're at all times.
Yeah, it sucks.
Do you remember? It is crazy to think that I was my daughter's age and I would disappear for like 8 or 9 hours on a Saturday.
I agree.
Like they would just call 3 or 4 houses to see where I was at. Maybe I wasn't there. Who knows? You know, I would have they would give me $2.50 and I would just disappear for a whole fucking Saturday. You know, I'd be stealing. I'd be like running out in front of fucking cars in the street, like just the worst shit in the world. And then you had no idea. You had no idea.
You could be gone all night, really.
Yeah.
You could say, hey, I'm going to go stay the night with Aaron. And then fucking, just come back tomorrow.
If they didn't
around
call
noon.
your bluff, if they didn't call your bluff, they didn't know where you were at.
Yeah. That's what we did a lot. It was, I'm staying the night.
Oh,
we're all staying the night
move.
with each other. Yeah. Hey, we're staying the night together. And then we just go fucking hang out at one of the houses. I had a friend whose dad was a truck driver. So I had that going for me.
I wonder if there's a way, I don't know if there's a way to what you would do. Maybe everybody leaves their phone at the person that you're staying house, just go analog, and then you could go run wild and free and shit,
You can't get away with it.
But if they keep calling, then you don't pick up. Yeah. They're going to drive over.
Parents just text their kid the whole time they're gone now.
Yeah, that's true.
My
daughter's already on that shit.
Yeah, they like texting you, so it's all like a whole thing.
They want to do filters.
Yeah, they want to talk to you all day, and you're just like, oh, okay. I just got yelled at for leaving my daughter on red today. So,
yeah,
these kids aren't running from their parents like we were either. You know what I mean? Like we were all by the time we were 10, 11 years old, we're like, we got to get away from these fucking people.
Well, that's, the other thing too. Here's the thing though. Yeah. Cause the parents couldn't be recorded. And they used to get away with all kinds of bullshit when there was no accountability, and their parents would go fucking crazy. Like they were the worst, abusive, gaslighting, not giving a fuck. All of the neglectful, all that shit. There was no evidence. There was no way to just record them being assholes.
Yeah, that's true. Like everybody was just getting away with so much more back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
The first episode of Atlanta that came out this year was about a kid who his teacher calls children's services on his mom, and children's services comes and takes him. And she's like, fine, take him. I don't care. And it just reminded me of when my stepmom, I had done something wrong. And I said, I didn't know it was called children's services. I'm calling child abuse. And she threw the phone book at me and said, go ahead and fucking call. It was just like, oh my God. When I think about that now, it's like, man, I never had a conversation like that with my daughter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my sister got the same fucking treatment. My sister totally was like, I know the number to children's services. And my parents were like, get the fuck out of here. Call the number.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell them how bad it is here. And then they just like lay down the worst guilt trip ever.
Yeah, tell them how bad it is.
Yeah.
What kind of shoes you
eat
wear?
every fucking goddamn day. And I max out that JCPenney credit card every time you go back to school. You wouldn't last a minute in foster care.
Oh, do you think they got bagel bites in foster care?
Yeah, exactly.
No, they don't. You eat fucking rice, and that's it. Okay? Toast. You think it's bad because you got to eat Cinnamon Toast Crunch, the generic kind. Well, some people don't. They just get the kicks. Like, that's all they get is kicks. So,
and I hope you enjoy cereal from a bag.
Hope you enjoy fucking cereal where you don't get a prize, okay? Where there's no fucking word search on the box, all right?
Yeah. Don't collect the UPCs. They're worthless. You can't trade them in for a Toucan Sam t-shirt or nothing.
God, kids are so lucky now, too, because, like, if Aldi was a thing when I was a little kid, you'd have got fucking savaged if your parents went to Aldi. And everybody's the problem with it would be everybody's parents would go to Aldi, so everybody would know the brands, but they would still be busting your balls. Like, because I remember one time we went to
Aldi was around when we were kids.
I know, but people didn't shop there like they do now. We went to
it's
Odd
different.
Lots. Yeah, we went to Odd Lots once growing up, and there was a girl we went to school with. And we fucking made fun of that girl so much. Like, we saw you at Odd Lots. You shop at Odd Lots. And it's like, what were you doing at Odd Lots, motherfucker? It was like our whole thing.
Aldi was around. I used to go because, it was it was like a joke. It was for broke families as all it was considered, or people on benefits, people on welfare.
Yeah.
That was what it was treated. And I used to go with my my neighbors all the time. Because they had like 5 fucking kids, man. I'm like, no money. I don't know how they did that. They just sold shit at the flea markets on Sundays, and then the dad like did asphalt, and the mom didn't work. The mom just stayed home with the 5 fucking kids, and also, but she never did shit. With like she never was involved. She just smoked cigarettes at the table and talked on the phone all day. Is what she did.
Absolutely. I so many friends like that. It's the best houses to hang out at. Really. Yeah. Sometimes they get mad and be yelling and saying, "Not today." You know what I mean? Like, you're not allowed to hang out there today, but most days I was okay with it. Shackler in the chat said Malto meal is better than all the name brand versions. Let me say, Malto meal crunch berries and Malto meal Apple Jacks, both excellent. They're just better than the regulars. They get soggy really fast, that's what I like in my cereal. Is I like it to be soggy.
Yeah. Also, the same parents, they would like come home from work and kick us all off the Sega and play like Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine against each other like all night long. wouldn't let us play.
That would suck. I used to get so mad when my friends' parents played video games.
Oh yeah.
Like, what the fuck are we even doing here? If we can't
they're playing? They're adults.
Yeah. Isn't this yours?
Yeah. I thought this was a Christmas gift.
Yeah, my dad would sometimes play, but he'd get so mad at it, he'd just end up leaving. He'd play for like 10 minutes, and then I would do better than him, and he would be like, "Fuck this, man, I don't need to do this."
My dad was actually a gamer guy. Like, he had a Commodore 64 and all the Ataris. Like, before I was born, he had all that stuff. He was like, he's a pool hall. Like, he was probably, drinking beer and smoking dirt weed and playing video games, in their early 80s, late 70s and shit. Yeah.
He was ripping on a Galaga machine, just going fucking crazy.
Yeah. Living after midnight.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Oh, next on the line. Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
What's up, guys? It's Bear.
What's up, Bear? Hey. How's it going?
We need to.
It's going great.
Something for you too.
He's a bear.
Roar.
That's what I'll do.
I love it. It's fantastic. It's great.
What's up, Bear? How's it going?
Oh man, it's going great. I'm in the middle of a public park, sitting in a baseball field tower.
Oh, fun! And a base all by yourself?
Yeah. Dope. Yeah. Well, right now I'm by myself. No, just sometimes when you're out late and you have nowhere else to go, you just end up here.
I love it. Great
Are you
idea.
in a warm? It's fucking freezing cold where we are right now. Like as cold as it could ever possibly
It's
be.
Christmas weather right now.
Yeah, it sucks.
It's like 50 degrees down here. It's not like it's not
Oh, that's
great,
cold
but it's not
I
bad
can deal
either.
with that. That's long
Me
sleeve.
too. I can deal with it. Well, no, that's maybe a hoodie, like more than a long sleeve T-shirt, but not too bad.
I'm actually kind of insane. Part of the reason that they call me bear is because like cold doesn't affect me, which is like the opposite of a thing of a bear, because hibernation. But yeah, I'll drive with my windows down like in the middle of winter. It's weird.
I wear shorts. I
Okay.
was thinking about this because I wear shorts to the gym every day, and I walk because I don't have my car during the day, and and it's also only like 20 minutes from my house. So it takes me like 19 minutes to get there. And I don't wear shorts, and I started thinking about it one of the days last week when it started to get, it was like 40 degrees, and I was like, I don't think that legs actually get cold. Like, I think that arms get cold, and that's what being cold is. Does that make sense? Like, your arms and your ears get cold, and that's the definition of your body being cold. But it doesn't feel like it's possible for your like legs to get cold to me.
No, because I remember one time when I was like really small still. I like wore shorts outside and my parents told me not to because I was a little stupid kid. I like froze to death. Like I started getting like frostbite on my legs and it felt so cold like for the rest of the night. It was awful.
Yeah.
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 Okay. I think we should do the Brian, your legs can't get cold challenge right after the stalls all on the ass cheek challenge. I think we've got
No,
a
I'm
nice
not
little
even-
series of events.
I think like when people talk about, being cold, they're 99% of the time they're just talking about their arms. Number
No.
one, and that's why people wear shorts when it's cold in a lot of places, because it doesn't matter. Your legs. I think I don't think that like they can get too cold, I guess is what I'm getting. I don't know where I'm going. I just think between your ankle and your thigh, that doesn't get cold ever. And then your feet, your tooties get cold for sure. I agree with that. Your extremities. I just don't think your legs do. So,
I
thank you,
think it's
JC
just
in the
that,
chat.
like, you
What
get
we
better
talk
at-
about? What were you gonna say, Bear? Sorry.
I was just gonna say I think that's like you get better blood flow to your legs because you're always like standing on them and walking around with them, whereas like your arms don't always do things, you know.
Yes. Yeah. And I just think that that's
my
why.
arms just like my arms just fucking hang there sometimes. Like they just aren't even trying to help out or anything. They're just hanging there.
Yeah. And
Yeah, but your legs are always holding you up.
I wear like I would never wear short sleeves outside in the cold. That to me, I can't do that. But yeah, I can wear shorts in the cold. I just never I always the only time I ever feel like cold where I'm like I have to fucking remedy being cold is when my arms are cold. And it's not even like the bottom part of my arms. It's just this top area of my arms. That's the only thing that gets cold on my body, really. Everything else is sweating 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So,
well, I'm thinking mostly about like when I fucked up on my leg preparation. Like I got 3 layers going up top and like a windbreaker and shit, and then I forgot to put a base layer on, and then my legs are really like a weak point, and it kind of breaks me down. My legs get cold as fuck. I have poor circulation as it is. You can catch me running in place to warm up. My legs get cold. I'm sorry to report, but my experience is legs get cold.
Mad Rush Outwars in the chat said, "What about vests?" I'm going to tell you right now, I have never worn a vest in my entire
Really?
life. I have never worn a vest ever.
Not even for like a
work
wedding
uniform.
Not for like a wedding. Not for
never. Not
no
even
tech
a work
vest, no
uniform.
Old Navy tech vest when those were popping.
No, I didn't. And I didn't. Like I said, I worked at Kroger where there is a vest aspect to the uniform.
Yeah.
But that's only for floor managers and whatnot.
Okay.
It's not for like the degular, the people that are down there working, and you can't wear a vest then. You had to wear just a regular shirt. So I've never worn a vest in my life. I just can't imagine it.
You kind of seem like a motherfucker that would get like a Mecca, like Argyle, like sweater vest or something and try to pop it over his shirt and call yourself fancy or something, or wear it to like a job interview.
Yeah, I just always
You never got a Fat Farm vest and threw it over a shirt for a job.
I'm telling you, I've never worn a tech vest. Remember, like last summer, I'd been talking about maybe buying a vest. I was like, I think I'm going. The last 2 summers, I've talked about like, I think I'm going to get a fucking vest, man. Like a tech vest, like a North Face kind of gimmick, and I just can't pull the trigger on it. And I would love I think the look of like a down vest is it's like such a cool look. I don't think it could work for me. I just have a way of looking, and no, I wouldn't wear a battle vest ever. That'd be crazy. I haven't worn a denim jacket since I was 11.
Brian is like a last ditch effort. Like when you're 60 or 70, you just start doing like crust punk shit. You just let your hair grow into one big fucking dreadlock and put on a battle vest. Like, this is the only thing I can do to be fucking cool. Yeah, move to Asheville. Yeah.
sit in the middle of downtown and sort of play a drum. Yeah.
Sell
Sure.
cigar box guitars.
Yeah. So how's everything going, Bear? How's it going? We just got you talking about vests there. We gotta let you pick what we're talking about.
I don't know. The vest conversation's pretty engaging. I've also never worn a vest. Ever.
You've never worn a vest,
Brett?
Not in my life.
Brett, I'm gonna think it's got to be 70% of people have never worn a vest. I'm thinking
let's say 1/3. Let's call 1/3 of 2/3. Right now, that's where we're at. I've done all the vests. I love a vest. My whole shit gets cold quick. I also like to show off the sleeves. I like to do a little color matching. I always carry like chapstick and fucking gum and wipes and a wallet and keys. And so vest is like just extra pockets without having to carry a purse. So
I gotta say, I think most people see them as pointless. I'm serious. I'm not even trying to be mean or anything like that.
See, I'm a cold guy though. My whole life is cold. I'm cold wherever I'm at. I prefer to be hot. Vest is just like keeps the core nice and toasty for me. My arms, sure, it's ridiculous. It's 55 out, and maybe you guys can wear like a long sleeve shirt, but I need my tummy covered by a vest.
No. I just don't think I can't. All I've ever heard in my life is people say like, "Oh, vests are pointless because no, why are you going to be doing that?" And that's stupid though, in honesty, because fashion is not always about use. But I think with a lot of people, fashion is about utility. With most people, and the other thing is like, when have vests even been in style in the past 40 years? I can't think of any time when people
pop
were
over
wearing vests.
Argyle vests were super popular for sure. Tech vest was super popular. I feel like every insufferable liberal person wears a fucking vest when it's a North Face or an Arc'teryx or whatever it is vest. That's how you know somebody is like a destroyer. Like, people that wear vests are like the folks that go to Whole Foods and then grind up their employees for more money.
Yeah. Well, yeah. People wear the thick ones because, again, like the idea of a thick coat like vest, it can only work for like, I guess if the middle of your body gets cold, it's like whatever, but your arms are like really a key place. It's like, to me, a thick vest, right, that you would wear when it's cold outside is too much for when it's hot, right? So when it's hot outside, you're going to sweat your fucking nuts off. That's not going to fucking work, right? But when it's really cold, you don't fucking wear capri pants when it's freezing cold outside, right, Bear? You don't wear shorts when it's cold. That's what I'm getting at. Brett's
Yeah,
holding
no,
a
I wear
vest right now.
cargo pants.
It's a black leather. I got a black leather vest. If you're watching on the chat, it's got fringe on it. You don't even have to wear a shirt with this thing. You can just wear this black leather vest with the fringe, and women will talk to you. People will be interested in you and want to know what's going on.
Okay, actually, that reminds me, since you said we're not wearing a shirt with it, it reminded me. There was one time where I wore one of my friends like fucking North Face something, like the puffy like jacket vest things, open with no shirt while tubing in the middle of winter. But that was mostly to make fun of him for wearing a stupid ass fucking vest.
Oh,
that's kind of fresh though to do. I'm telling you, it's kind of fresh. I'm looking at vests right now just on my computer, and like it's kind of like I'd love to buy one, but I just feel like it'd be like when I buy a nice belt and then I wear sweatpants every day for 4 years, right? I would never have to put this belt on, but I have a nice belt, you know?
You know what I think the move is? I think we should make vests like the leftist version of like the Hawaiian shirts for like the fucking chuds. We just all start wearing vests.
It would help. It would definitely help to identify who's on your team, because again, as I've said before, like there just aren't really people wearing vests unless like Brett says, on a fall day at the coffee shop, you could run into a few vests, you know?
Yeah, if you're taking an Instagram photo where you hold a cup of coffee with both hands and you kind of look like you're smelling it, you got a vest on.
Yeah,
it's Christian Girl Autumn. I mean, they're good for like windbreaker stuff too. Like it keeps the wind off of you, but it lets your arms go. And also .com in the chat. Thank you. Leather vest is great, especially if you have a hairy shoulders. that's why I wear it.
It's so weird. So weird. But I'm gonna let it slide. I'm looking at a Helly Hansen one right now.
Okay, that's quality. That's a good brand.
Yeah. Oh,
the only people I've seen wear like vests casually in the past like 10 years are like steampunk nerds, you know, and they got like the brass goggles and shit on too.
J. Crew sells so many vests to people that work at offices. Like there's so many dorks that wear vests. I mean, we got to think about like all of San Francisco. Those people, they're like, oh, it's, you know, the wind is really biting today. So I've got a $650 vest to climb a mountain, and I'm wearing it to go steal all your data and ruin your life.
Yes. I had something there for you, Bear. So what's going on with you?
Oh, I was mostly just calling in because I actually had a question for you guys, completely unrelated to vests.
Okay, let's do it. Let's answer some questions.
Vests are like divisive. Everybody has. I mean, this is a personal relationship that everyone has with vests.
The chat did blow up there for a second, where it's like vests are for fucking kings.
I was gonna ask you guys, because I don't think I've ever heard either of you actually talk about it, but you might have on the show before. How do you guys feel about more, let's say, like directly radical groups like the SRA? You know, people who are more about like arming leftists and like showing that.
I mean, look, that's something that has to happen, I guess, is the way I kind of think of it, like the Socialist Rifle Association and stuff like that. First of all, I'm not endorsing them, because every time I say something good about a socialist organization, I get screamed at by people that something bad happened. But I think all in all, like teaching people with left politics how to protect themselves and others, I mean, that can't really be a bad thing, because the other side is you know, constantly getting more and more guns and you know, practicing. My wife went to her parents' house yesterday, and her dad is like up her ass because we're not prepping for whatever he thinks is gonna fucking happen. Well, I don't know what he thinks is gonna happen. I think I'm gonna take
Gas
a look.
war, water
'Cause
war.
He does follow someone on YouTube. Katie found the guys. She said she saw it while he was typing something into YouTube because that's how he listens to music. But he also doesn't have YouTube
Yeah.
Premium. It's
Oh, no.
misery because they'll get mid-roll ads. He just plays like a 9-hour. It's like 9 hours of classic rock. But then like a mid-roll ad will just happen right in the middle of a fucking song, and you're like, dude, it's $16. You can. I mean, if you're gonna use this like this, $16 a month is a small price to pay.
Yeah.
Angry Prepper is who he watches. I'm trying to find a picture of him. I'll take a look at it. Yeah, the Angry Prepper is the guy, and he said he loves him. And I'm trying to guess what he looks like, but I can't find him. He
In
might
love?
be hiding. Yeah, like no, he said I love the Angry Prepper. I like he's the best. And it's just a guy that it looks like he just
He's
has
cute.
a lot of like canned vegetables and shit like that.
He looks strong. He looks like the kind of guy that your dad wants to be dominated by. Or he would accept his loss in battle to the Angry Prepper. That's what he looks like.
Ex-New York cop too. I think that's
Yeah.
one of the things he likes about him. You know?
Why is he's I mean, I would be spending all of my money on the most insane situations. I would literally at his age, my plan is to like make the government do something about me.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
like
the guy
I want to
doesn't
be
have. I'll say this: he has no money, dude. I mean, less than no money. And he has a bad back, and he lives in a modular classroom.
20 he's not even going to be around 20 years from now. What are you prepping for? You made it. You lived through very abundant times. Like you get to peace out before anything wild happens.
Yeah. Well, now I'm looking at the link tree of Angry Prepper. He sells an off-grid sustainable bundle for $50. Regular price without the bundle is $2,421.94. So I mean, he's really fucking hooking you up there when you think about it, you know, $50 or $2,421.94.
Yeah, actually, Kath posted this the other day. This person that was like posted, what does their basic at-home emergency preparedness setup look like? And this person goes on this tweet thread of like all this crazy stuff, and like my goal is like to get killed immediately.
Yeah.
Like my goal is I'm not going to think about how bad the future is. Like I'm going to have fun right now. And then when it gets bad, I want to be out first. Like I don't want to persevere. I'm not interested in living off of construction buckets full of cheesy broccoli. Like I don't care to be there. Like I'll just get out of here. Like I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah, I like watched this series called Station 11 on and I read the book too on HBO, and like the people that lived, like it starts at the apocalypse and then goes 20 years later, and it's like the people that lived sounded like they had the worst time ever for like 15 of those 20 years, and I'm like, man, I mean, I want to be standing right where the bomb hits.
Yeah, like landing right. Yeah. So to answer your question though, I support the SRA as well. I mean, I do feel, I don't know where I'm at all the way, but as folks have been listening, like I don't have any hope that like the system is going to change in any sort of positive way. I do think that like the environment is going to make more decisions for us than anything. Politically, there probably will be some downfall as well. And I think anarchists need to be ready to do a mutual aid. Like you should be practicing right now, and you should know how to do gun stuff, because the conservatives are already like on it all the way. They're just waiting to fucking shoot strangers. And I think that there is a possibility in my lifetime for sure of having to be squared off of them in some way. And I think combat training is an important part of that. It's not my own personality. I mean, I know how to shoot and load and a gun and everything. But I don't train as much as I could, because I do think it is something that should be, more important. I'm waiting for my dad to die so that I can get all his guns. Like I'm not going to pay for them. I could stay at like the Hilton for a couple nights instead of buying a gun. And so that's what I end up doing instead.
I just feel like if some shit's gonna go down, look, I can go to my father-in-law's house. He ain't gonna fucking kill me, and maybe I can talk him out of killing other people. You know, that guy loves me. I don't know why, but he fucking loves the shit out of me. This angry prepper guy. But I saw a little thing on his link tree that says natural healing, and I'm like, well, there's why they didn't get the vaccine. Probably that's the voice that told him not to get it.
Yeah, no, you just gotta wait on that natural healing to take care of it. Oh, absolutely. I'm actually a strong believer that like a lot of stuff is gonna happen and probably pretty soon. Like I have a gym membership expressly for the purpose of, you know, I feel like preparing is extremely important. So that's part of why I was wondering. It's just, yeah, absolutely. You know,
no, I support it. I mean, I think we have to be ready to like take it over. I mean, when the power structures and authority breaks down, I mean, there is going to be definitely a battle for who's in charge, and we can't let fascists have it.
Yeah, and I don't.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not like again. I think like I'm going to the gym to hopefully look really attractive, but like that is kind of
the worst reason.
Yeah, but it's the only thing that can get me to do anything. It's my vanity, and that it works for me. The only thing that gets me to do shit is vanity. But like, yeah, I've even noticed like when building, now that my cardio is getting better and better, it's like, oh, okay. I mean, maybe if some shit happens, I'll have cardio. Because basically I'm not fighting anybody. I'm just going to run. I'll be a running ass coward.
Yeah.
In the
a hider. I'm a hider. I can squeeze into weird places.
Whatever happens, I'll be a running ass hider. I'm hiding and running. I can run 5 miles now without stopping. So
you just point me in the direction.
I mean, like, if it works, it works. Just get out of there.
Yeah. Well, that's what even like combat trained people say. Really?
Oh,
when you got like anybody, like I've seen, there is a show on Netflix, a doc series called Fighting, I think is what it's, or Fightland, where Frank Grillo just goes to different countries and learns their like sort of martial arts style. And like every single episode is like, dude, if you can run, fucking run. Don't fight anybody. Don't fight anybody that's willing to fight you. I think was something they said on there.
Yeah.
Like that's not smart.
When I did Taekwondo, that was the guy said the same thing. Like he basically said, he was like, I would never fight if I didn't have to. It was like I would run away. That's what I would do.
Yeah. It's not smart to like go toe to toe with anybody that's willing to fight, because anybody that's willing to fight fights often. Like, because I'm not gonna walk up
the
to
Walmart
you
guy.
And fight. No, I didn't.
There's this fucking customer going off in Walmart and like making a scene at the self-checkout, and the employees go and grab a guy that can fight, and he comes out and he's already like in the mode ready to scrap, and you can tell he knows what he's doing, and he fucking rocks this customer's world so well. The guy comes at him, he hits him a few times, he bounces off the register, and then when he gets back up, he haymakers him and then moves out of his way as the guy goes limp and just falls forward. It's like it's a dude fighting in a Walmart vest. Beating the shit out of a customer. It's one of the best fight videos I've seen in recent times.
Yeah. Hey, Fixer Punk's right in the chat. One of my goals is to be able to show you all Brian in the singlet, right?
Okay.
Like people can actually see me in the singlet. But I have to be able to shake my titties, do that titty thing. And I also have to be able to pull it down so you just see my shirtless body. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
Because I want to do that. I like the guy that wears like a singlet. And also, well, Katie keeps bringing this up. It's not me. But wearing one of those shirts that's got the thin, the shirts that go like down, like sort of where your nipples are showing and everything, but like thin string tank tops.
Huh?
You know what I'm talking about? That weight strong guys wear. Like there's like a lot of wrestlers that wear that kind of singlet that or shirt where it's like you're
Like a
wearing like
scoop neck?
yeah, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, there is like
know
I
what you
think
mean.
like it's like a what's the word? I can't remember.
Spaghetti
Like
strap?
A
You
tank
wanna wear
top. A tank
Spaghetti
top.
strap
No,
camisole?
but it's for men though. It's a tank top that's like it's a muscle shirt, I think. It's for people with huge muscles. And that's sort of if I'm going to work out, to be completely honest, I'm trying to get muscles. I'm trying to be able to like go up to somebody and we're talking and everything and I'll be like, "You want to do a push-up contest maybe? Like me
Oh,
versus
okay.
you, you know?"
Yeah.
That shit's cool, dude.
I did a plank off. We did a plank off years ago. It was a lot of fun.
I'm pretty good. Muscle tank top. Thank you, Milk Soda. Muscle tank top. That's the shirt I want. They're just they're
What?
for the most. They're for
That
the
doesn't
most.
come up with anything.
I'm looking. I'm googling it.
I don't know what you're talking about at all.
Oh man, it's hard. It's hard.
Why
to
would
get
you
it
wear
out
spaghetti
there
strap tank top?
because you have huge muscles. So that's
Okay.
all. Bear, it's good to hear from you.
Great call as always.
We're gonna go and get the rest of these calls in. Bye bye. I think we lost Bear.
They hung up, yeah.
Dude,
think they
yeah,
got carried
off-grid
away by the wind.
sustainable living bundle. Maybe I should just pay the $50.
For what?
The off-grid sustainable living bundle from Angry Prepper.
Oh yeah, sure, definitely.
I don't know, but I'd like to see it. We'll try to get an Angry Prepper audio on
That's a good idea.
Wednesday
like that.
show. Yeah, I'll
I
take
like
a
that.
look and stuff. Yeah.
All right. Next cow. Thanks for calling Street Fight. How's it going?
Hey, I think you're talking to me.
Yep,
sure
we're talking
are.
to you. What's up?
Hey, sorry to bum you all out, but I accidentally fucked my way into a new job.
Oh, did
Okay.
you? What's your new job? Are you your manager? Are you the person that called last week and your manager got fired?
No,
okay.
I am not that guy, or not that
Okay.
person.
Okay.
No, I had been working on a project for work, and they did not know where to place me after that. But I fucked my way into a better job. So I've been doing nothing all week,
That's fresh.
which I
That
know
sounds nice.
is street fight precedent.
You
No.
can nap.
Uh,
Can you nap though? Can you nap at work? Is the question.
I can do
question.
everything but nap. I have spent so much time on YouTube and Google. But I
On
can't
Google?
believe it. Well,
Oh, yeah?
I do Google News.
Oh
But,
yeah, I
yeah,
look at that sometimes. I be looking there. Oh
Yeah,
my
You like
God.
pick the
Nah,
stories for
they-
Google News?
Don't fuck with me anymore, and I'm being anonymous because day one, I just took a half day. I just left
Yeah.
middle
That's
of the
great.
day.
Did you get paid more? You getting paid more?
I'm getting paid the same benefits,
Okay.
same everything. I was just like, well, if you don't work for me, I'm gonna leave. So
Nice.
Okay.
I figured I'd
Well,
do
that's
the
great.
stupid thing of fucking leaving.
Right on. We'll do it. Hey, that's great for you. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, nope. You have a great night. Sorry,
Appreciate
it.
I'm sorry for the boring call.
Oh no.
You're fine.
We don't think that. I'm posting. I just sent Brett. I just DM'd you something.
Okay.
You can go ahead and
I'll check that out.
See this shirt I won. I'm trying to put it in the chat for yins.
Dog, be brave and just cut the sides out of a t-shirt. Cut it, get an and one t-shirt and just cut the whole sides out so there's a breeze going through.
But it has a hood.
The hood is bullshit. This is
so
such
cool.
wish.com ass athletic fashion you're showing me right now. It's a hoodie that has been cut straight down so that like your lats and your pecs and stuff stick out. I'm telling you, just do that to your own damn shirt, man.
Well, it's only $14 for the shirt.
But you want to be intimidating. If you want to be intimidating, cut your own shirt, because buying that look makes you look bad.
Cool.
I think you should. No, it's cool to take your own shirt and say, I'm so fucking ripped, I'm cutting this up to show you. It's like using a steak knife as a weapon versus like a weapon that you bought from like the Rocky Mountain Knife Company. You know, there's a little bit more. You're like, I'm actually dangerous because I took this old Kohl's Led Zeppelin shirt and just cut 2 gigantic holes in the sides.
Okay, I will cut 2 gigantic holes into one of my shirt, but that's not gonna happen for a while. I don't have muscles.
I hated these dudes so much, though, man. Like, these are the guys are the worst. Like the guys that wore these shirts, throw them away like garbage people. I hate these fucking dudes so much. There was a kid that always had the stretched out armhole shirt on, and he was such a fucking weak ass. He was a weak person, all right physique, but weak mentally and, you know, in his character.
It's so crazy. When you start searching for this stuff, you see the craziest stuff. Like
wish.com and Amazon has the weirdest fucking stuff ever now.
Yeah, there's a shirt I want to buy here that says Chunky Hunks, and it's a rhinoceros working out. Maybe I'll get that for myself. That's fun. Hunk. I'm a chunky hunk. All right, let's get this next call. Let's get this
2 more to go.
Oh, okay, you got.
Thanks for calling Street Fight. Who we talking to tonight?
Hey, this is Alani. How's it going?
Hey, what's
Alani?
up?
It's been a while.
Yeah, great to talk to you guys. I have a story that relates back to something you guys were talking about. I want to say like 2 weeks ago when you were talking about what you listen to when you work out.
Yeah.
So usually, like, you know, for like a fast-paced workout, I'll listen to like rap or electronica or whatever. But I was going to the gym really early in the morning, and I had been listening to Anne Rice's Interview with a Vampire. I don't know if you guys have read it, but it's great. And I was squatting, and it's like an incredibly melodramatic book. Like it's, you know, it's about like basically vampires' sex lives and like love lives.
Yeah.
And there was a scene where these 2 characters who were like companions, lovers, you know, for like a century, they were talking, and I was listening to it while I was squatting, and I was on my last set of like a 5x5, so it's very heavy. And when I was on my way down, this one vampire was like, "We're never gonna see each other again." And at the bottom of my squat, I started crying, and I got totally stuck. I got totally stuck, and I had to like use every muscle in my body, like my butthole basically, to push me up.
Yeah.
Hey, I gotta tell you,
dynamic. That really shakes things up. You're ready for everything.
It's funny that you say that because on Saturdays now, when I do cardio, I watch the wrestling from Friday. It's like an hour. So it's perfect. It fits right there. And the workout, it makes the workout faster. And something like really fucking funny happened this week, and I started laughing, and I sort of almost fell off of the elliptical.
Yeah.
And it's like that stuff is it's so weird when like, because I really don't think you're probably supposed to be watching TV or like listening to audiobooks when you work out.
It can
It
fuck
just
you
doesn't
up.
seem
I know.
normal. You know?
Even comedy podcasts,
No.
I would let podcasts run while I would go on a run, and something would happen that would be funny, and it would just make your knee go sideways, and it just like fuck up your whole run.
Totally. Like one time
It's
I
so
got
weird.
a tattoo and went for a run, and I was like admiring my tattoo while I was running. I was like, oh, I'm so sick. I'm 19. I have a tattoo. And I tripped and fell.
That's like when I was fucking writing. I was always bragging to people that I can write while I walk around town, right? Because I just use my computer, open a Google Doc, and I don't know, something had to get written. I'm working on it. I'm walking, and I'm like, this is fucking great. I'm really working my way through this, and I stepped right in brand new shoes too. We're talking about shoes that I had had for less than 2 weeks that were $160, and
Oh, no.
I'm fucking writing on my phone, and I walked like into a cement, like people pouring concrete in the street. And I put one foot down, and I got up to my ankle, and I was like, man, that feels weird. So I fucking walked and put the other foot in it because I was still like looking at my phone. Both of my fucking shoes totally ruined because I stepped in cement. And there were workers there too, but they were facing the other way. So they didn't see it happening, and they didn't even see it happen. I was so embarrassed. I like kind of did that, oh, hey, kind of quick run by. And then I was like, I don't know what to do in this situation, really. So, yeah, it's so weird. If you're not paying attention when you're doing anything, and like that's like Brett said, even a comedy podcast, when somebody says something really fucking funny, when you're doing something that takes any kind of concentration, it will almost make you fall.
Yeah, it has to be intense
Totally.
rock or rap. Rap I can run to and work out to, or hard heavy metal stuff, like something that has to feel like I'm fighting against the devil himself. That's the only way I can do it. I gave up on any podcast while I work out. It's weird to me that people do that.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. It was also like I had to sort of like when I came back up, when I like fucking saved my own life and made it to the top of the squat, I like had to wipe away tears and just like gather myself.
Yeah,
to
it's
keep
so
doing
goddamn
my
funny.
workout.
You've got what it takes though. Like that's the thing. Think about like being a soldier on the battlefield and watching like, some lovers die in the trench, and like you would have been right there pushing through, just keep persevering.
It's so good. It's so
a really
fucking,
positive-
that is, crying is such a crazy thing to have happen when you're lifting too. Like laughing, people are listening to comedy stuff all the time. Getting angry, people get angry. Maybe they're having a conversation on the phone while they're doing it or something. But fucking, you might be one of the only people to ever start crying in the middle of lifting weights.
I know. It's like I was crying about something that like it wasn't like I was thinking about like a relative who like passed away. I was crying about the possibility that these immortal beings might not see each other again.
Immortal lovers extinguishing a flame.
But that is kind of sad.
Yeah.
So
it is.
Yeah,
it bums me out too. It's also it's like you're immortal and you have to avoid somebody. It's like, do you just break up the earth into like hemispheres? You can turn into bats and fly anywhere you want. Like, do you just have to say like, do you pick what countries are yours? It's like a divorce. Like where are you allowed to go and hang out? Like one of you gets Paris, one of you gets Berlin,
Wait, can those guys really turn into bats? Can the
all
interview
vampires
with the vampire guys turn into bats?
So Anne Rice, and in Anne Rice's, so far, I haven't read all of her books. They don't turn into bats. They're like
I was thinking that.
They're more like humanoid, but they can have like incredible powers.
Yeah,
can they fly?
They don't need. Why?
Do they fly?
Some of them can. I feel like I need to stop
Okay.
because I don't want to
There's
ruin
flying.
people's experience of it.
But they could turn
but I
into
highly
a
recommend
bat.
I want to
Turning
know the
into a
world I'm
bat
in.
is turning into a bat is a lot more of it's kind of what I was talking about a couple weeks ago with the Batman movies. They're so afraid to put like Robin in a Batman movie because they think it'll mess with it tonally. And that is exactly why vampires don't turn into bats anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Because it is really funny to see a guy turn into a bat and fly away.
It is, and they're so vulnerable as bats, right? Like, have you ever
Yeah.
seen like bats get stuck in something? Like, that's embarrassing if you're immortal.
They also can't fly bats can't like fly to like the other side of the country. They pretty much fly in the same like small area in a circle. You know, it takes so much energy for a bat to fly. I've always thought that's about all birds, but yeah, why would you want to turn into a bat to fly? It's so much more convenient to get on an airplane.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Or one of the more convenient ways to fly is maybe you meet up with a witch and ride on her broom. You know what I'm saying? So like you're like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm a vampire, you're a witch, I'll fucking, you know, help, I'll protect you or whatever, and then
I'll
you
pay for
let me
gas.
get rides on the broom.
I'll give you
Yeah.
some
So
sort
there's,
of like zombified corpse remains to use in your next spell or something.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
bat
yeah,
makes
yeah, like-
sense. Bat is inconspicuous. Everybody thinks they're around. I don't think that if you turn into a bat as a vampire, you got to join a bat colony. You're not like stuck underneath that bridge in Austin, Texas. You know, like
But you
I
have
feel like
to
you have a
talk
little
to-
more freedom of movement.
But you have to talk
I
to
don't think
other
so.
bats, right? Or else you'll run into each other.
Yeah, I mean the other bats are going to be like, "What's up with this fucking? What's the echolocation
I
going
know.
on with this
Why does
fucking
this bat
person?"
have? Yeah. Like, why does this bat have a little lace collar on? Right?
Yeah, what's up with this? The velvet cape? Is this the king or something of the bats?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah,
it's such you don't when you look and see a bat in the air, it never looks like they're going anywhere, you know? And it looks like it probably would be tiring. Brett has a bat tattoo. But you know what I'm saying? Like it looks exhausting.
Yeah.
It
No,
looks
it's effortless.
exhausting to
I
be
They
a
were
bat.
created by demons and gods together. They're perfectly designed for
It's
flight. That's the
true.
only reason they can fly.
It's true. But yeah, flying period looks really exhausting. Like, I can't even fly like normally in my dreams. Like, my subconscious is just like, oh my God, no. Like, I
You're
can
chained
only
to the
fly-
ground. In your
No,
dreams,
no,
you're
I
chained
can
to the
fly,
ground?
but I'm like on my back and I just like gently move my hands
Oh.
like I'm like
Yep.
in like a bathtub sort of.
Yep.
Yeah, that's like the best I can muster.
Yeah, I always think about that. I just
How
I
do you
mean,
fly in
you
your dreams,
really-
Brian?
Oh hell no. I mean I don't dream very much. But no, I don't think I do. And the thing is, like, if I was gonna have the power of flight, the power of flight is only good if you have it like Superman or like somebody that can like levitate up and stuff like that. Other than that, it's kind of like it's too tiring to do. Like if you have to flap your wings or whatever, it just seems exhausting. I wouldn't even want to fly.
Oh yeah.
It's mostly
somebody-
gliding.
If somebody met up with me, like if I met somebody and they were like, "Hey man, I can give you the power of flight, but you know, you got to flap your wings," I'd be like, "Nah, I'm okay. You got any
I'll
other
take an
powers I can
airplane.
get? Yeah, you got any
Give me
other
an-
powers?
Give me some money for a flight.
Invincibility? Can I get invincibility? I'd love that. Invisibility.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know what
you
I'm
know, but-
saying?
Persona management in the chat is right. Their neighbor's cat caught a bat. That would also suck. That like you just have some cat
So embarrassing.
jump off a roof and drag you out of the ground, drag you out of the air. You know.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's why they don't do bats anymore. They just,
But
I think they also think like bats are like, yeah, it's so easy. And it also, like, vampires are sexy. And I mean, being a bat isn't going to work
gross.
out. And
They're kind of cuddly. They're cuddly in a way, but a lot of them have really disgusting faces.
Yeah, bats are ugly as
But-
motherfucker. That's for sure.
But Brian, also, like, have you seen a bat dick?
No, I'm googling it right
What-
now. Though I'm always curious to see a dick.
Bat dick. Bat dick.
I'm just
Bat
saying-
penis.
This puts
Is
me
it
back
worse than a
against
pig
you
dick?
saying they're not sexy. They
Oh,
can
bat
Damn,
dicks are
bats
sexy.
have like
surprisingly
human
different.
penises.
Yup.
Holy
I know.
my God.
mo!
So when you say they're not sexy, you might be wrong.
Yeah, they do. They have
That's-
human
oh,
fucking
fuck.
penises.
Dude, that's a great looking set.
I know, and it's an actual like it has two balls.
Dick and balls.
a dick.
Yeah,
yeah.
they got the whole thing, man.
Man, that might be an actual vampire though, if you think about it.
Yeah.
You know, because that's probably just a regular. That looks like a regular dude's dick on a bird.
It looks like how I wake up every single day with wings.
Very weird. Well, thank you for hipping me to bat penises.
Yeah,
and,
that was cool.
We're gonna get this last call in. Go and take
Okay,
the rest
thanks
of
for
the night
taking my
off.
call.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Lonnie.
peace.
Thank
Please
you.
call
Have a good
back.
night. I will.
Man, that bat's dick is something else, man.
Yeah, I did. I mean, it's like got a little hard, little red rocket. Not even red. Not even not even a dog stick. It's just like a regular old human penis.
Yeah, that's a wild fucking dick, man.
It's so.
Oh, and
cool.
it says they can do oral sex on themselves.
Ah, lucky. See, that's why you become a bat. I mean, here's how I feel. Vampire comes with a lot of other pros. The transportation was created at a time when there wasn't a lot of other shit going on. So bat kind of worked.
Yeah,
I think that
yeah.
I mean, it's like you get to be immortal, you get to have sex slaves, you get to create also like little monster slaves out of like guys, and then you have to turn to a bat to fly.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
true.
I mean, bats are impressive. All right, last call. Oh, look what this is. Oh, thanks for calling Street Fight. Who are we talking to tonight?
Hey, what's up? It's Marla from Dallas.
Howdy,
Marla,
Pearl
what's
Peach.
up?
Am I the last caller?
You
Yep.
are. You're the cherry on top.
Oh. Okay, that's good. I was hoping I would be because I only have depressing things to talk about with work tonight.
Yeah, we were having too much fun here.
Yeah, we're talking about bats and vests. Have you seen a bat's dick and balls though, Marla? It's pretty wild.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of different kinds of dick and balls, but not that kind.
Okay.
Nice. All right. Well, what's going on? I'm stealing myself for this.
So something really fucked up happened to me at work. I know I've called into the show before, but for anybody who doesn't remember me, my name's Marla. I'm a stripper living here in Dallas, Texas. And I just wanted to complain about how fucked up work has been lately for me over the past 2 months. And it started in February. Bear with me, because this is I feel like this is the first time that I've tried to get comfortable talking to a lot of other people about how prevalent sexual violence is in the club that I work at. And part of why this violence is so prevalent is because I work at a club that's kind of well known for prostitution. We call them extras in the club. So there's a lot of extras going on in this club. So customers have certain expectations about what they're going to get with girls in the club. And so that's something that I have to deal with over and over and over again is, guys propositioning me. And in and of itself, I don't mind. I don't really care if somebody propositions me like that. It's just the fact that I have to constantly negotiate consent with grown men who were never taught anything about consent. And my pushback against them is going to be their first harsh lesson in consent from, somebody who they feel entitled to sexually. So that's a roundabout way of getting to my story.
Yeah, and it creates a situation
Uh,
where now they feel embarrassed, and they're like, you're supposed to protect their ego because they like made a wrong decision or something, or did an impasse that um is like they were barking up the wrong tree, you know, and now all of a sudden their pride is hurt.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's exactly how I would describe it. And you know, there are a lot of different types of men that come into my club and that I'm able to meet and interact with. But I mean, most often it's men who feel as though like I am just somebody for them to like project onto. Like it doesn't really matter what I want or need as like a sex worker in a club. To them, it's like if they want XYZ and they have this much money, then they expect that they'll be able to pay you a certain amount and you do whatever they want. And
Yeah,
There's like an amount of money
So
for
this-
everybody. You know what
Everybody
I'm
has a
saying?
price. Yeah, they're the fucking assholes that say everybody has a price.
right, right. And anybody who's been in the sex industry know that like not all money is good money. Like
Right.
some guy can pay you to be in a VIP room for like $1,000 an hour, but if he's like trying to rape you, which is what happened to me this past week, then was that money worth the kind of violence that people like me experience? I don't know. But
Not at all.
what happened
Yeah.
was, yeah, exactly. What happened was that this happened back in like February, like the first week of February. And this is what I mean when I say that, like the club has been really fucked up for me lately. I was at work back in February and I got into a VIP room with a guy who out of nowhere put both of his hands around my throat and started to choke me as hard as he could.
Oh God.
And he like strangled me so hard that his arm started shaking. And this is like a big guy. This guy's built like a linebacker. Like he's 6 foot, well over 250 pounds, like huge, 3 times my size. And
Lord.
he lets go of me within seconds. And when he let go of me, he like slaps me in the face. And I feel like I should clarify that like I think he assaulted me because like choking and slapping women turns him on. And he didn't think of himself as doing anything wrong because he had already paid me for the room, and because he sees strippers like me as like existing to fulfill whatever specific desire of his that he has without any regard for like my safety or my boundaries.
Yeah, and
So
no saying out loud, I'm willing to do this, or like, yeah, I mean, somebody would. There's somebody that does have that as a price. Like, you could do that to me for an amount of money, but he never verified that's what he was getting with you. Just showed up and started throwing the money around, and then thinking he'd do whatever he wants.
Right. Exactly. And I have a hard time explaining exactly what happened next because I was just in shock that somebody would assault me out of nowhere like that. Like I remember telling him, I remember saying, you can't do that. And when I asserted that boundary, he responded that he didn't want me in the VIP room anymore. Like he didn't want me anymore. So I was like dancing for him when he did that. And so I stopped dancing and I left. I left the room. And like I'm laughing now, but the only reason I'm laughing is because like that wasn't even the worst part of that night. Like the worst part of that night, it wasn't being assaulted like that. It was whenever I went to go to my managers for help.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about as well, is that like this environment is set up by somebody else. The person making money, there's somebody making money on top of all of this. Like you see those like TikToks and they get spread around where like dancers are sharing like racks of money that they're counting up at the end of the night. But there's someone on top of that that's creating this environment that's making even more, you know, and not even doing the work of providing any sort of safety or security for the people that are making the money, you know, of course.
Right. And my club doesn't have downstairs for the VIP rooms. The VIP rooms are mostly upstairs.
That's ridiculous.
And all the bouncers and managers are downstairs.
So they
Yeah, it is
so
ridiculous.
they're complicit in it. They're just setting up a scenario where it's anything goes up there. We're not in charge. We're not responsible. Who knows what happens up there? That's between you and her.
Right, exactly. And everybody knows it. Like, this isn't, you could literally go on the Yelp reviews for my club and see people talking about the prostitution that goes on in this club. It's like set up that way. This is intentional.
Right.
And
right.
So this happened, and I left the VIP room, and I went to go tell my managers that I wanted to go home early. And they just raked me over the fucking coals about everything that they think that I did wrong in this situation.
I mean, what did you do wrong, though? That's the question. Like, what did you actually do wrong in this situation? Are you supposed to, like, I don't know. I don't even know what to do there, you know?
So what happened is that I went into the office, and I told my managers I wanted to go home early. And of course they asked me why. And I said, this guy just choked me and I'm upset and I need to leave right now. And so I told them that, and I go back into the dressing room and like I get my stuff and start changing my clothes because I'm leaving. Like, there's no way I'm staying for the rest of my shift. I think I had like 4 hours left in my shift at that point. And they go to confront the guy who had strangled me, and the guy denied assaulting me and said that I was actually mad over money. Like, the guy claimed that I had wanted more money from him, and when I didn't get that money, I lied to my managers to try to get him kicked out.
What is the what is the like so they're gonna definitely be on his side, right? Like they don't take you into account as a person who this happened to.
Fucking
is it like
shouldn't
a
be, though.
customer's always right situation?
No, people that do the people in charge of this know exactly the kinds of piece of shit scumbags
I
that
agree.
like go to these places. They should have never ever. They should have just bounced that guy immediately. You don't want people hanging around the club like that. It seems like bad business all the way down. It's fucking astonishing that they would do. I mean, I don't get it. I really don't get it.
So here's where I realized that I was in trouble, is that when these managers stopped asking, like after I had changed into my clothes and went back into the dance office, the manager stopped asking about what he did wrong and started asking me about what I did wrong. So I get back into the dance office, and one of the managers just looks at me very blankly, and he said, the last time a girl got choked in here, she came to us crying and screaming, like implying that I was too calm and I was too cool to have just been assaulted.
Yeah,
that's
and
bullshit.
that's totally like that is something I could hear somebody saying for sure. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. That's an incredibly like.
Yeah, and that's also awful. That's them like saying that there's only one correct. They know how this goes down. That's awful. I mean, I had my own sexual assault happen during my wild summer, and like I was frozen in fear for like a few days, and then when it washed over me what happened and like I accepted like what was going on and everything, like that was my breakdown. But like immediately after, you couldn't have told that like I had just been a violator, someone had like pushed my boundaries.
Yeah, and of course it's fucking absurd for a strip club manager to act as though they're some sort of expert on like assault victims or think that they know anything about how assault victims are supposed to react.
You have no clue what that is. Like, I mean, to ask for a show is just insulting.
Yeah, and the thing is, if I had done that, if I had come into the office like screaming and crying, they would have told me to calm the fuck down.
Right.
Like they
were
would
calling
have
you
wanted
hysterical.
me to be as calm as I was. Exactly. They would have called me hysterical. And at that point, like as soon as he told me that, I was like, fuck. I in that moment thought I should not have told my managers what happened. I should have just said, I'm going home. I'm upset. I'm leaving. Because
Right,
if I had
stomach,
said
I have a
that,
stomach
like, they would
virus.
exactly, like they would have let me go home. You know, that's not the issue. But stupid fucking me, like I thought that it would be best for this guy to get kicked out and that the managers would take my side. But what the managers, there were two managers that I was talking to in the dance office, and the other one told me that legally in the club, you can only ask for money in very specific ways, and that I had asked the customer for money in the wrong way. Like I had asked him for paying for my time, and you're not supposed to do that according to my managers. That like asking somebody
fuck?
like a customer to pay for like an hour, you're supposed to say that they're paying for the song, like by song.
A dance, yeah.
So they told me that I fucked up saying that I wanted money for the hour, and they got upset with me over that.
Oh my
Like
God.
they told me that could be construed as solicitation, despite my not actually offering actual sex in exchange for money. And so what I need people who are not strippers to understand is that many local laws like involving prostitution and solicitation are so expansive that even the implication of exchanging sex for money can be grounds for arrest. Like the manager told me, he said, and I quote, he said, if the guy had been an undercover cop, you could have been arrested for solicitation or prostitution tonight. And of course, I'm thinking, so you think undercover cops go around just strangling dancers and VIP?
Yeah,
and the thing is,
I
of
do
course
think
he
that.
doesn't
But
think that.
yeah, no, they don't think that, but I think that.
Well, we know that, but we know that's not where they're coming from.
No, your boss is not thinking that.
It does sound like cop behavior, but yeah, you're right. I mean, they would be more explicit about the terms and all of that. I don't think that I don't think this guy was trying to bust anybody. He was trying to get away with fucking abusing the shit out of somebody. He really like, and they didn't have your back. I don't know what you're playing from here. What's the plan? Like, are you going to go back?
So this happened the first week of February, and I took basically all of February. I took all of February off from the club. Like that happened, I think February 3rd, and I took the rest of the month off.
Shit.
And
are you going back?
I talked. The thing is, I've been back for like the entire month of March. I've been back.
Has it been better? Like, have things gotten any better?
I don't know how to like. I don't know if I should like laugh or cry at that question, because like my last shift, like Friday night, like some guy tried to rape me. Like I was dancing for him, and he just pulls out his dick and tries to force it inside me. So no, it's been worse.
Jesus, Marla. I mean, are you? I wish there was something we could do to help. Like, well, I wish I could punch that guy in his dick, but also just.
But yeah, this scenario is like how low we've gotten. I mean, that men just really think that there is a place in the United States that you can walk into a building and just pay to force yourself on somebody, or like they have to do it. It's like the customer is always right at the strip club. Like you know what you're getting. It's a fun time with a pretty girl that dances. That's all it is. There is nothing else here. You know,
you would love it if they made a sign. Like, I know they have codes of conduct or whatever for like a lot of times on the wall where it's like, don't wear your hat backwards and shit like that. But there's never anything that's like, hey man, you're not, you're not going to be having sex tonight, okay? And just fucking, that's the rules. And don't expect it and don't fucking ask for it. Like that, it really does feel like there needs to just be a sign that says you're not going to have sex with one of these women tonight. It's like, it is not going to happen because people need to know that. But instead, that's specifically not there because they want you to think that you might have sex tonight because you spend more money at that point.
Well, winners and losers in the chat is right as well. It says that the reason that prostitution is illegal is because it does keep men in charge. Because like you don't have any sort of legal recourse. Like they've made it seem like you could get in trouble for selling yourself at a club or something. Like it could be misconstrued that you were selling something that's illegal, and that's where we're at. And that's it. By keeping it all murky, it just keeps the worst dudes ever in charge of what's going on.
Yeah, it does. The thing is, I feel like there's, if I could kind of tie this all together, because like I'm reading the chat and like there are a lot of people saying that, you know, I shouldn't work there anymore. And, you know, I took all of February off, but I've basically been working all of March at the same club. And like I said, it's gotten worse. But like, what do I kind of just want to push back and say like people get treated like shit and violated and assaulted at their jobs like every day. Like it's not just strippers who have to deal with this. And like what do we all do? We got to get up again the next day and go to fucking work because we have bills to pay. So like I've stayed at that club because it is good money. Like I've made great money this month of March. Like I've had to deal with a lot of bullshit, and like sometimes I feel like I'm losing my fucking mind. But I mean, at the end of the day, like I am taken care of financially. Like I have the resources necessary to like have a therapist. I can take time off if I need to. I can take a whole month off of work, which I already did. Like who else can say that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
and like I feel as though.
Go ahead.
I feel like there's almost no point in like talking about the violence that I've experienced at work without explaining the political implications, because like I said, like I'm in a very good position to recover from violence like this. Like I have a strong support system around me. Like in terms of people who are like vulnerable in the club, like yeah, I've been on the receiving end of like a lot of violence in there, but at the same time, like I don't feel as though I don't need pity. Like I don't need people to feel sorry for me. What I need is for people to fucking support the decriminalization of sex work so myself and others like me can receive just even a shred of labor protections. Like I want to be able to go back to that club and expect a safe environment. And like when I do get assaulted, I should be able to confront that violence with dignity. Like the managers should kick his ass out, should take my side. Like I should be able to go home when I want and not have to deal with a manager who thinks I'm fucking lying to him about having just been strangled. Like the labor protections necessary to facilitate like our dignity as sex workers is just not feasible when prostitution and sex work is criminalized. Like I got assaulted at work, and instead of receiving report, like I got raked over the coals by my managers because they were more concerned with how I could be criminalized over my safety. Like our safety will never be prioritized until we are free from that criminalization. And I feel like what happened to me back in February is such a perfect crystallization of that, because it's like maybe they were bullshitting me about what solicitation charges I could have copped should that guy have been an undercover cop like they told me he could have been. Like I don't know what it's going to take for strippers like myself to get those kinds of labor protections, but they're not possible when we have to deal with the possibility of being arrested for trying to get paid just for dancing.
Yeah. I mean, you're playing in a way, you're playing in the game of capitalism in that like you have a very high risk but it comes with a very high reward. And like the people that are good at dancing and at creating connections and working with people, like you can extract a lot of money from men that are desperate. But you're absolutely nailing the point of like, until we make like full blown sex work illegal, we muddy everything else and create these circumstances for like that guy should be able to go to choke out a woman that's getting paid $4,000 or however much money she wants to be paid. Like if he wants to go have a sexual encounter with someone, he should be able to go somewhere else besides the strip club, because that's not what is expected of strippers, you know? And so when we throw everything in the dark, like everything gets very murky. But if it was okay to go pay for sex, the only things that would be illegal would be the horrible shit, the underage stuff, the like sex slavery stuff. Like until we allow like full sex work to be legal, we create these circumstances where some guy thinks that he can just throw some money around in a club and choke somebody out because he spent the money. And like there's because it's all, none of it's out in the open, none of it is able to be like to be legal. So we end up with these circumstances. And yeah, it's missing from the conversation for like the Save Our Children people and any of the like, you know, the TERFs and the weird rad femme people and the anti-prostitution sex work fucking liberal ass people. They really miss out on how legalizing it all will shine a light on who's doing the most fucked up shit. Then we know who's like shouldn't be doing, you know, doing what they shouldn't be. And it would allow you to like, yeah, to be open about making your money and unionizing and defining what your work environment is like.
Yeah, that's exactly how I would put it. And like I said, I'm reading the chat. I just wanted to clarify, like, there's a difference between legalization of prostitution and decriminalization of prostitution. And thank you to the person in the chat who just plugged my Substack, because I explain those differences in my Substack. That was just linked there. Because I've been talking about like the decriminalization of prostitution from a stripper's perspective for a while now, basically as long as I've been on Twitter at least. But yeah, I want to reiterate for people that like there is nothing about this scenario that the police could improve. Like there's no law, there's no criminal penalty, there's no law enforcement that could have solved this problem. Like this, like on top of the fact that like we have no bouncers, like the most basic of legal protections, the most basic labor rights that I would like as a dancer, starting with bouncers to help physically protect me in the club. Maybe we can start there. I feel like there's so many people who talk about sex work and prostitution who have no stake in this matter. Like they are sitting at home in front of their fucking laptops and they will not know what it's like to experience what I have experienced. They are not in danger of being sexually assaulted every single time they go to work. And I am. And
right.
Yeah, I'm gonna do an identity politic and say that yes, my position as a stripper and as somebody who has done full service, like that does entitle me to a seat at the table where I get to say that like I want to go to work, I want to be a stripper, I want to do this work in the sex industry, and I should be able to do it safely. As long as I am doing this work to provide for myself, I just want the basic, smallest dignity of being safe at work.
Understood. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I know other people that strip, and I mean, you are the realist about what your job is. No one is like you know what you're getting into every single day when you go there, and you manage to deal with a lot of like really awful men in their situations with a lot of finesse and make it work. And at the end of the day, we need to protect the hell out of you. That's all that matters really, is that you do have at least somebody in charge that's willing to fucking get rid of somebody that's assaulting people. Yeah. I don't like, I'm with you. I get it. I don't know where we move from here. Like it's a long conversation we need to have. And as we move forward into things, I don't know if all of it gets out there, but you've illuminated a lot for us, and I appreciate it. Thanks for calling in.
Thanks for taking my call, man. I needed to vent. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Anytime.
No, it's tough. No, I mean, yeah, I mean, like a friend of mine got a fucking drink thrown in her face. She has like a scar on her face forever because she got attacked at work. And these type of jobs don't receive the kind of protections that they should. Like, you know, everybody likes a lady that can dance well with her clothes off, and I feel like we should be protecting that and not treating it, you know, the way that we do. It sucks.
Well, thank you for your solidarity, and from the solidarity from the people in the chat. I appreciate that.
Well, thanks for calling, Marla. It's good to hear from you.
Yeah, we're so you're
Have a good
Pro
night,
Peach on
Will.
Twitter, and then you got your Substack going, right? What's the Substack? I missed it.
Yeah, the
hang up?
Substack is no, I'm here. It's marlacruz.substack.com. I'm going to be writing some new pieces for the spring and the summer here. I'm going to be defining what makes a sex worker. I'm going to be talking a little bit about sex work and imperialism. I'm going to be writing some more like personal shit about my experiences in the club, kind of talking about what I've talked about tonight, and Pro Peach on Twitter. So thank y'all for taking my call, man. It was a good time. Thank you.
Yeah,
Marla, you're a
thanks for
shining
calling.
gem. We appreciate your insight. Have a good night. Get some rest.
Good night.
That's
Oh,
the
it's so
show.
it sucks, man. I hate that. I mean, it's such a like the club can be such a fun environment, and then it just gets poisoned so quickly by people that thinking they can just like buy and sell and own other folks, or like take advantage of them because they have money, you know.
But they just think that they just
I spent
think
enough.
that like everybody's for sale at the place. They don't think about what that makes them or what kind of a shitty human that makes them, you know? They're like, I can go into this place and I can be a degenerate. It's great.
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
Vegas.
Yeah,
It's a lot
it's
like
yeah.
Vegas.
Blank
Yeah.
check, whatever you want to do, all your sins, keep them going. The chat, a couple of people in the chat did say that might be an undercover cop, and I also think it does sound like undercover cop behavior to me. In a way, it just seems like somebody that would do something like that and say, no, actually, I didn't do that at all. She propositioned me, and I could send her to jail.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Well, that is Street Fight. And that was fun, right?
Yeah, it was a great show. Thanks for everybody that called in. We appreciate it as always. We'll be back on Wednesday to live stream twitch.tv/Street Fight Radio. If you want to watch what we do, jump in the chat. Thank you to .com. Thank you to Cheer Rabbits, Lizzie Lamort. Hey, it's Vina. All y'all. Psychic Gasoline is always in the chat. Mad Rush Outwards. Let's keep it running. Let's spread this mess across the U.S. It only works if you jump in. You got to get in this like cesspool with us. And we'll see you on Wednesday.